So welcome everybody to the latest Jodel webinar on the 1st of November 2021. And this evening it's my absolute pleasure to be collaborating with Steve Mell and with Caroline Bull, who are going to be talking about the Teacher Fast Feedback system, which Steve has come up with as a way of reducing marking time for teachers. But this session is particularly focusing on how Teacher Fast Feedback can be used in languages. And so without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Steve, who's going to go through his presentation. Then we're going to have some live demonstrations, including an unboxing, which is very exciting. And feel free to put your questions in the chat. It's helpful for me if you put the letter Q in front of your question to make it very clear what's a question and what's just a comment. And then I will then put the questions to Steve or to Caroline when we're running through the session. Caroline is a languages teacher, and so feel free to direct any questions, particularly about languages, to Caroline, and she's going to be demonstrating how you can have multilingual feedback, French and Spanish, using Teacher Fast Feedback. So thank you so much, Steve and Caroline, for agreeing to do this, and I'd like to now hand over to Steve to kick us off.
Okay, good evening, everybody. This is my first webinar apart from doing some Zoom meetings when we were locked down last year, so forgive me if my tech skills have become a little bit of a muddle, but I'm sure that I will get into it quite easily. So Teacher Fast Feedback is basically, in a nutshell, it's a little printer like this, and it connects to your phone, and what you can do is dictate into your phone feedback that you would like to give to a student, and they appear on a label that you can peel off and stick into the student's book. So it's reduced my marking time massively. I can mark a set of books now, put comments in probably about 15-20 minutes that would normally take me an hour. So it's a brilliant piece of kit, and I've just managed to put two technologies together. So it's Bluetooth technology and the what's called thermal Bluetooth printing. So there's no ink on this, it doesn't smudge. And there's a layer of, I think it's aluminium oxide between the sandwich of the label that when it's heated, it goes black on the label. So you don't have to replace ink, which I know is an expense. So I'm going to show you quickly how it works. If you were to purchase one, it will come in a little box like this. And I've tried to strip back on all of the packaging and the manufacturing, trying to be environmentally friendly as a scientist. It's something that's close to my heart. So here's my box, and inside the box, there'll be a little instruction manual, and here is the printer. So this is a pink one, there's pink ones, blue ones, and black ones, and inside is a roll of labels that it comes with. They are 50 millimeters by 50 millimeters, so they're quite large, and you can change the font size if you wish, so you can basically get quite a lot of feedback on one label. So I'm going to just quickly demonstrate how it works, and then I'll go through some of the more technical detail. So I'm going to put my labels in, and I'm going to switch on. Press and hold. And then I just feed it forward because I want to get to the start of a new label. So I'm going to try and do this all live time for you. So the app, which you download and which is free, there's no subscription, there's nothing to pay. You just buy your printer and the labels, and that's it, you're good to go. So I'll open up my app, and I've got a label template here that I've made. As I said, I'm a science teacher, so I've got a science department, and there's my text box. And I double tap on my text box. Well done. What a great piece of work, full stop. Next time, please include more scientific vocabulary in your explanations. So there's my label. I'm going to press print down here because I want to show that it comes up here. So. And there it is. So you simply tear off, peel, and stick in the student's book. And that is as quick and simple as it is. Now, the beauty of this is that it operates in any language, which is why Caroline's here now, because obviously, if you're an MFL teacher, you might want to feedback in the target language that you're teaching, or you might want a combination of languages on one label. So you could have an English text box and a French text box. So in a nutshell, that's how it works. Now, if you want to find out how to set up your labels and your label templates, you will go onto my website. And I'm just going to show you my website. I'm sharing my screen. Can we see that? Joe, can we see that?
Yep, all good, all good.
And as you can see at the top here, if people are familiar with Pixel, it's last week been approved by Pixel. So I'm very pleased about that because it's got their endorsement. At the top of the website, you can see that I've got Teacher Voice. So behind this screen is some testimonies from teachers that already use this system. I won't play them now because they're a little bit quiet. And we've got the demo here, which, shall I play this?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for connecting with Teacher Fast Feedback. I would like to demonstrate the versatility of this unique feedback device. The purpose of Teacher Fast Feedback is to save teachers time in marking.
Teachers are reporting back to us that they can cut a detailed 3-hour marking schedule down to 30 minutes. And even provide feedback to a class set of books in under 10 minutes.
To use, you simply dictate your feedback into the free app, and it appears on label templates that you have created personal to your requirements.
Well done. Next time, please include more scientific keywords in your explanations, full stop. Now write down 3 uses of an electromagnet, full stop.
Simply print, peel, and stick into your students' books. This personal, portable, inkless, Bluetooth device is great for all levels of teaching. You can even print logos and artwork with your feedback, which is great for primary teachers and helps engage the students with their feedback.
If you're an MFL teacher, you can even feedback in any language. Your students could even translate the feedback back to themselves.
Bravo, un très bon effort. La prochaine fois, pouvez-vous essayer d'utiliser plus de connecteurs dans vos phrases et utiliser une plus grande variété de vocabulaire.
The only limitation is your imagination on how to use this device in the education sector.
Our mission is to help colleagues put down their pens, pick up their printers, and free up that valuable resource, our time.
Can I just say, because I'm sure people are going, the lips aren't going to think, I've tried to use as much new technology as I can, and these are synthetic people, so they're based on real people. So it does say that in the website. So that's an introduction and obviously a demonstration of how it works, which I've already gone through. So I want to go through a little bit more of what the system is. So it's a one-off purchase, as I said. There's no subscription, so you don't have to keep coming back and paying a subscription for the app or for labels or whatever. There's no internet required, so you are free to feedback wherever you go, on the train, wherever. So you can mark students' books on the go. You're not tied to the internet. It operates through the Bluetooth of your phone, so no internet required. So you're not tied into your school internet, which we all know how unpredictable they can be at times. It's the free operating app. It's thermal print. There's no ink, as I explained. There's, I think it's aluminium oxide sandwiched between the layers of the paper. The printer itself has got a battery in the back. You don't take those out. It's rechargeable, so it's reportable and rechargeable. It lasts for about 3.5-4 hours. I have ran it right down, and that's how long it took to run the battery life out. You can feedback in any language, as I've said, and also here I've got a full refund policy. If you're not happy or there's no reason that you will not get it to work. The reason why someone might not get it to work is they're not watching all the instructional videos. And I'm also here not 24/7, but 12 hours a day. There's a little chat box that comes up, and you can connect with me if you've got any questions or any issues once you've purchased the product, if you choose to. There's a link here on the website that allows you to download the app. If I'm hovering over here, there's 2 apps. There's one of them is for iOS and one of them is for Android. The Android feedback app is my personal app that I've had developed myself, and that's come from a company in China called Weeder. And so Weeder is the parent app, and the daughter app, if you like, is my Android app. So if you're operating iOS, it is the Weeder app that it's operating from at the minute, but that probably will change in the future when I get the iOS app developed exclusively for Teacher Fast Feedback. Here is some examples here of the printers. There's 3 different colors. There's 3 different colored labels at the minute, and it's very difficult for me to show you, but we've got blue, pink, and yellow, and these are sort of a matte effect, and which I've got in stock, but I'm moving over to these labels, which I think are amazing, and they're actually glossy, so they really stand out in the books. And I would say that the print quality seems to be slightly better as well. So those will all be stocked on here. Now, I also wanted to talk about, here's the languages video demo here, but Caroline will do it so much better than my synthetic person. So technical support, as I've said, I'm here for any technical support if you need it, if you buy one. There are instructions on the website of how to create the label template. So this is the go-to place, the website. If you play this one, so label creation for the iPhone, and it shows you exactly how to create your template. So I showed you that I had my a template for science. I'm just going to open it up again. So what would happen? So my phone's going a bit berserk. There's the feedback that I just read out earlier. So all you would do is you would click back and you will click not save. And then what that does is just clears your template out again, ready for you to put, double tap and start to feedback again. So you can have as many templates, not got many in here, it's one of my dog, but in there. You have as many templates as you wish, and you just click on each one. So you might have a template that's got, say, the title of your class, 8 set 2, 7B1, and you can have a specific template for your class. You can upload logos. If I just go back and go new. So there's a logo button here, and there's logos, pictures, things like this, particularly good for primary teachers to engage their students. It's a little line there, look, I can put on. I can like make it bigger, do what you want. So that's what you can do there as far as your templates go. So you click not save. So if you come to my website, as I say, it's the go-to place to show you how to set up your labels for your iPhone. And underneath, obviously, how to create your label if you're on an Android phone, because it is slightly different. The principle's the same, but a slightly different technique. Here we've got video tutorials about print quality. If you've got something quite intricate, you might want to slow the printer down so the pixel will detail out. Here's the versatility. Here's an example of the kind of things you might have on the label. I've tried to show here, look, that you can have different fonts. You can change the size of the text. You can put different pictures on. You can put grids on. It is endless what you can do with this. I use them not only for feedback stickers. I do homework stickers that the kids just stick straight into their planners as they leave out the door. Maybe starter questions, differentiated questions to put in students' books. A case study, I worked out that a school teacher who teaches 4 different groups a week and giving feedback to those students every 2 weeks would use approximately 5 packs of labels, which will cost £50 annual printer. So looking at £110 and maybe a repeat of £50. We are managing in my school and other schools that the teaching and learning is coming out of the teaching and learning budget, because it's part of teaching and learning and feedback and teacher well-being. So it ticks quite a few boxes under quite a few umbrellas. Now, as a scientist, I talked about the planet here. I've been really careful when I found a manufacturer to manufacture these printers. And when I first got them delivered, they were wrapped up in plastic. They got cable ties, they got plugs in, more plastic. So I've had all that stripped back. So it will come basically in a cardboard box like this. You'll get a rechargeable thing. I'm even going to get them to take this off. I don't want these ties on here either. So I'm really aware and conscious about the environment. These labels that I'm going to be supplying with now, these are all from recycled plastic and paper. The plastic film is recycled and so is the paper. And as I say, it doesn't come with a plug. It doesn't need one because it charges on USB. And also the carrier that they come on are green neutral. So sorry, carbon dioxide neutral. So that's really what Teacher Fast Feeback is in a nutshell. It'll save you loads of time. It works in different languages. The versatility is amazing. It's not expensive. You're not tied into a contract. There's no subscription. And every teacher that I know that has purchased one of these, I've had brilliant reviews from people on it's reducing their workload. They're leaving school early. And another thing about it is that the students, I found that they go in their book now and they want to label every day, which unfortunately that's a little bit tough going, but they do actually seek out the feedback labels. So I hope that's helpful. There's a lot of information there, but obviously just go to my website and you can digest it there and watch all the setup videos and work out if this is something for you that you think you might be able to use in the classroom. So is that okay, Joe? Should we hand over to Caroline?
That's fantastic. Well, we've got a few questions. Is it okay if we do the questions first and then maybe with Caroline's presentation or demonstration, she can maybe cover some of the questions that come up, if that's okay. So there's some technical questions and some to do with languages.
Yeah.
So the first question from Nathan, who's joining us at 6:15 in the morning from Queensland, Australia. So well done, Nathan. He's a Japanese teacher. So you said it's available in any language.
Yeah.
Have you seen it work in Japanese, or do you know if it works in Japanese with characters?
So if I give the secret away of this, it's me combining two different technologies. So if you could just ask Nathan to reply. So can Nathan dictate into his phone, into his notes in his language? Hopefully he will say yes, because his keyboards will be in.
Let's see, Nathan. Maybe Nathan's fallen asleep. Are you still here with us, Nathan? Ah, he's saying yes, 1 second.
He's going to have a go. Okay.
He's going to have a go. Fantastic. Oh, I hope this is the lovely thing about doing things live. It's great. Yes, there we are. Yes, so he's just
so the answer then, Nathan, is if your keyboard, your microphone allows you to dictate in that language dictation will go straight onto label.
Brilliant. That's great. Fantastic. So that's a major question about all it always comes up in different webinars about is such and such a tool or software available in such and such a language. So basically for Teacher Fast Feedback, if the phone can operate in that language, then you're good to go. Brilliant. Yeah. Cool. Right, now I know that Caroline's going to cover this in her demonstration, but the question is, can you give feedback in French and Spanish and also in English on the same label? Well, French or Spanish and also in English on the same label. In other words, can you combine languages in the same option? And I know we're going to see Caroline demonstrating that. That's lovely. Right, you mentioned about the images. Is it possible to add your own images? If let's say you've got some icons that you want to use, is that possible, or is it just from a library of icons?
I'm going to demonstrate that because I'm really excited. So let me just go back. Am I connected? And let me go to my template. So I took a picture of my dog and I selected image, and it opens up my camera roll, and I transfer the image onto the label. So there is my dog. She's a bit old. And let me just see if I can do this now. Am I connected to the right one? Yes. So let me try and.
Wow.
And there's my dog. So if you wanted to take pictures of anything or anything that you download that's on your camera roll, if it's an image, it will print the image. If it's a logo, it will print the logo. So I got my school logo by going onto the website and taking a screenshot of the image and then putting it in my camera roll and then transferring it. And obviously you can set these as templates as well. So when I first put Millie on, if I just go new, let me just go back to my templates here. So what you would do, new. So there's my blank template. So I would just press image, which I'll do that now. And then there's a caricature of me that I've just put on there, and I can resize that, if you can see that now. And then let me print. And there it is there.
Awesome. So if you're a fan of Bitmojis, for example, and you already use Bitmojis for feedback, you could actually use the Bitmoji image as part of your feedback using Teacher Fast Feedback.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cool. Right. That's brilliant. I didn't realize that. That's awesome. Right. Okay. The next question is the app owned by a Chinese company? And secondly, is the app available on the normal app store? This is again from Nathan. There are concerns here in Australia about security with Chinese-based apps. So just asking.
Right. Okay. So the app is developed in China, so it is a Chinese app. The Android app is not. That's my app, and that is on Google Play. I've had lots of conversations in China, Shanghai, where the company is about it. So for me to have an iOS app that's listed on their what's the app store called? I forgot.
On the Apple App Store.
On the Apple App Store is very, very expensive. And you know, I'm just starting out. This is a new, it's a sideline for me. I say a new business. I'm a full-time school teacher, and this is something that I've just developed in my, not in my spare time, but I've made time to develop it. So I know that might be a concern for you, but Apple are very, very stringent, have very, very strict guidelines of what apps they will list and what they make available to the general public. Now, this app, the Reader app, it's a universal app. It's used all over the world for these devices or devices similar to this. So I don't really feel that you should be concerned. You do obviously have to let it connect to your phone, to your Bluetooth, for it to work. I mean, that, you know, that's the answer to my question. Ultimately, I'll have my own app for it at some point, but not. It might be a little while away. But I would say that because it's a universal app, it isn't something that's just been made for the purpose for me to use here. Because these printers or printers like this were generally, the reason that they came about is to print off barcodes in packaging warehouses, and I've basically linked some technologies together for actually you could use this for a different purpose. So yeah, that's sort of my answer. I really wouldn't be concerned about it at all.
That's great, Steve. Thank you. That's lovely. Is that okay if we do a couple of other questions before we hand over to Caroline? So, okay. Is it possible to buy a set of them as a school that can be booked out and used by teachers who have the app, or does each teacher need their own to work with their app?
No. So you could. So if I switch both of these printers on and I go, well, I'll do it.
Let's do it all live. It's all live. I hope everyone's appreciating on the recording or actually being live right now. We're all doing this live. No pressure.
So let me just go back to mine. So if you look now, it's picked up two printers. So that's the one that I was just connected to. I've just switched on the blue one and there it is there. And if I want to switch to that printer, I've now switched to the other one. So what you could do is you could have maybe one printer per department, and everyone can download the app onto their individual phone, and whichever phone switches on and opens the app, that phone will connect to the printer. So you might have a department, be a very small department if you want to share one, but you might have a department that is sharing a printer. And so the answer to that is that you can connect, any phone can connect to any printer. It's not locked to one printer from one phone.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. Lovely. Okay. I can see in the enthusiasm in the chat for all these answers. It's lovely. Right. The next one is, can you easily correct yourself or go back on yourself when you speak? Not sure it will pick up my English with my French accent, for example. Great. So a great question from a languages teacher there. What would you say, Steve?
Yeah. So the answer, and I can show you again. So if I just dictate something again, I need to think of something different to say, don't I? Well done, great piece of work. Can you tell me the uses of an electromagnet? So if it had picked something up incorrect, I wanted to correct it, you double tap on the text box, and can you see in the top there, up here, there, you can actually go in, and if you wanted to manually delete something and add something, that you could do. I did have a conversation with somebody from deepest Scotland who said, my accent is so thick, meaning the dialect, I don't think it'll pick it up. So I asked him again, can you dictate into your phone? And he said yes. And he sent a printer and he's made up. So I'm pretty confident that when Apple and Android make this dictation software, that there is some tolerance within different accents.
Can I add something, please? Sorry.
Yeah, of course, Caroline.
So, bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everybody. For me, it's the same, actually, being French, and I've never had any problem, obviously, to write the feedback in English all in Spanish as well. So the voice to text works really well and is really accurate. So I've never had any issue.
Brilliant. That's really great to hear. And thank you so much as well for coming along, Caroline, tonight. It's really, really appreciated. That's lovely. If it's okay, we'll do another couple of questions.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned the cost, Steve, but could you just maybe just go through again exactly what it would cost, and also at the end? The last question I've had so far is: do we buy the label each time as we get 150?
Right. So you depends how you want to do it. So it's $59.95 for the actual printing device. It's got a 1-year warranty on it as well. And the labels are £9.95, and that's for 600 labels. And as I said earlier, I think that an average teacher will get through 5 packs. You're looking at about £50 worth of labels. So I suppose the only way that you would save money is that if you bought 3 packs of labels and a printer at the same time, there's only 1 postage. If you then came back and bought labels at a later date, then there's postage. So it would cost you a little bit more. There's an academy trust that I'm working with at the moment, and they've all decided that they bought one for every teacher in their school, which is quite nice for their teachers. And they've decided that they want everybody to use purple labels for their feedback. So they've basically bulked buyed off me, sort of like 600 packs of 4, and they've got them in a big box in the resources room. And when the teacher runs out of labels, they go and pick up another roll of labels. So I think it depends really if you're buying this as an individual, or if you're buying it as a department and you want some kind of consistency of coloured label that the students know. I don't know, but a purple label might be a feedback, and the yellow label might be an action. Maybe you might do something like that.
Fantastic, lovely. And the last question is: have you any feedback from English teachers on time saved?
Yes.
As opposed to MFL teachers? Yes.
So I've got. It's very quiet, the video. Shall I try and play it?
Yeah, let's go for it, Joe. Yeah.
Let's go for someone real and not a synthetic.
When we had this as a demo, the audio is a bit quiet, but you'll still be able to hear it. Okay. If you remember to click on Share Computer Sound, if that's okay, under More, Steve.
Yeah. So I think I'm on Share Sound. You let me know if not.
Let's go for it. Yeah, do you want to just try again on Share Sound? It's quite quiet.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, maybe.
Hi, I'm Lucy Marks. I'm an English teacher and second in department. Since using Fast Feedback, I have dramatically reduced my marking from about 3 hours to about 45, which is incredible and really impressive because I take ages. So it's really good because you can use really detailed, specific feedback to your students, which is perfect for when you're marking assessments or just classwork. So all you need to do is just literally speak into your phone, and then it will print out exactly what you've said, and that's why it reduces it so quickly. So for example, I'm really impressed with your presentation and hard work today. Next time, don't forget to use subject terminology. And then you just print it, and it comes out, and you literally just stick it in the book. And what I found is the kids actually really enjoy looking for the stickers in the book, and not only is it saving me time, but it's also really good to get some feedback back to them.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Botham and I'm a science teacher.
Well, we can watch them.
Fast Feedback has at least halved my marking, if not reduced the time even more. And I actually enjoy marking now because it lets me give really personal feedback to my students, and they really enjoy reading the feedback as well. So all I have to do is just talk into my phone. Well done, you've shown working out in your calculations. Next steps, please add the correct units on your answers. Press print. Quick and easy.
Fantastic, excellent. Right, so the time has come now, if it's okay, Caroline, for you to give us a live demonstration. If you want to do a little intro to start off with as well, that'd be lovely. And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I think this will be the moment when I'm sure we'll get more questions around using Teacher Fast Feedback in the MFL classroom. But over to you, Caroline. And I think I'm right in saying that your video has been watched over 1,200 times in the last 5 or 6 days. So you've gone viral, what can I say? So over to you, Caroline.
Hello. So first of all, I've started to use it at the start of September, and it's really easy to set up, super easy to switch from a language to another. As I said earlier, the voice to text is very accurate, so I've never had any issue to speak in English or Spanish. So it's been brilliant. It has certainly reduced my marking time by at least half, and it's really, really enjoyable as well. So if I start with an example in French, the same as Steve said earlier, I have saved a template as well for me with like a logo, like a book. And I've saved one for Spanish, I've saved one for French. So you can save as many as you want. So if I start with French, so all I need to do is, so once I've got my, I don't know if you can see here, I need to add the text box and then I'll record my message. So, très bon travail, point. Bon choix de vocabulaire sur l'environnement, point. N'oublie pas d'ajouter des adjectifs et des adverbes, point. So then it comes up to on my screen and I click on printer. So I need to turn on my printer actually, sorry.
That's all right. This is great.
There you go. And then we've got the message here in French. Then I can switch to Spanish.
Could you describe what you need to do to change the language,
So
Caroline?
there seems to be two different ways. So basically I've added to my phone the different keyboards. So I've got the English keyboard, obviously, Spanish and French. So there is a way of doing it. At the bottom of your keyboard, you've got like the world sign and you can click on that. But there's also another way in the settings of your app when you can actually choose the language, and actually the app becomes in French or in Spanish. So I then choose me for this one in Espanol, and then so I record the same as earlier. Buen trabajo sobre el medio ambiente, punto. No olvides de añadir adjetivos y adverbos, punto. I've got the feedback in Spanish. And then again, imprimir. And then it comes in Spanish. I haven't used yet the labels in both languages. So I'm going to try now, but I haven't used it because so far I've used it in English or in Spanish or French. I haven't done both yet. That's definitely something that I will try. And definitely, I've never, as I said earlier, I've never had any problem with like mistakes. I never had to go back to any of my label. So what that. Buen trabajo. Bon travail. Didn't manage to run. Bon travail. Bon travail. Sorry, it doesn't, sorry, I didn't manage to do that one. I've never tried that one.
It will if you put basically in your label template, you can put two text boxes.
Yeah, that's what so I've got my two, so if I've got my label template here,
yeah,
I've got my two text box.
Yeah, double tap in the top one and then do it in the language that your keyboard is. and then change the language of the keyboard when you tap into the second one. It should just do it in the second language.
Buen trabajo. So I've got that's the Spanish one.
Yeah, and then tap into the second text box underneath that you've got. You've got another one in there.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
And then change the language on the keyboard, and then when you speak, it should do the other language in that text box.
So I've got my second box here. So
yeah.
And then I've got my keyboard at the bottom, say français, so French.
Yeah.
Bon travail. So it doesn't work more.
It's something we can look at there. We are supposed to be put on the spot. Been put on the spot.
That's probably because as well I am using the I've set up my in one language, so that's definitely something.
Yeah, it does. We have put Caroline on the spot there, but I have tried it.
Yeah, I've never done it in both languages, so.
But it will.
That's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much, Caroline. That was absolutely brilliant. We've got a couple of other questions, if that's okay. First one is, could one person share a template with other members of their department so there was a consistency of feedback from all staff? Is that possible?
Okay, so my English department have done that. So if you go into the, if I open the app up, let me just go back here. Back. So if you see, I don't know if you can see, but the second one along here, there's a share button here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can share that, and then it's like a code, and you can send it via WhatsApp, etc. And then it should pick it up on the phone and save it as a template.
Excellent.
But
that's brilliant.
A template generally isn't really too complicated. It's just, a couple of words and a logo generally. But so we also at our school we mark people familiar with the swag, with the strength, weakness, So you could have a template that's got 4 text boxes in that you save. Then you just tap in each one and give like the feedback for each of those. So yeah,
that's brilliant. And then presumably, if you just need the code, if there was a department who were very keen on making different templates, they could then share those codes with other people anywhere in the world, basically.
Yeah. So I didn't get anything back from the lady that I sent it to in the department. That's something that I need to follow up. But there is a share button on there, and I did share a template with her through, I think it was Messenger.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Lovely.
Sorry.
Sorry, Caroline.
Sorry, I just, the box was, that's it. It did work.
Awesome. So what was the thing that you did to make it work?
It's just basically because I had to insert 2 boxes, and the other one was just overlapping the other one. So you can then just drag them, basically.
Yeah. So if you were to say you were giving feedback in 2 languages, your template would have a text box here, another text box, because when you add another text, it adds it on top. So then you would have a text box here, a text box there, save that as a template. That when you open, you tap in this one, speak French, tap in this one, change the keyboard language, speak, say German. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for persevering, Caroline. That's brilliant. Fantastic. We've got another couple of questions. So the next question is there a word limit or a character limit per label? I know you talked about changing the font size, but
So I have, well, obviously there will be, depends on your font size. So you need to obviously make your judgment on the class. So if you were primary, you'd obviously want the font to be reasonably large enough for them to read. Maybe 16 older children or children in college, you could use probably a very small font. That's a good question. I haven't actually gone to the smallest font and worked out how many words you can put on, but let's say there is enough.
Yeah.
There's enough there. It's not just 2 or 3 words. You can put a lot on there.
Lovely. And then the last question so far is, so you can only make a comment at the end of a piece of work. You couldn't, for example, correct spellings or grammar as you're reading a piece of writing in either French or Spanish. You would still have to do that manually. Have you tried to use it for corrections at all?
Well, I suppose it's the label. Well, you can use it how you want, but I mean, I've been using it as what it is. It's a feedback label.
Yeah,
so,
me as well, yeah.
you have incorrect spellings that I've circled, please go back and correct them, and maybe comments like that. It's just a really good time saver, but it's generally a summary of feedback of what students need to do to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Melanie, who asked the question, she's maybe looking for a different type of tool. Not exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's a final piece of feedback to put at the end of the.
Or like I said, you could
book.
use it for a homework label or a starter label, or you might have 3 questions and you want all the students to do the same question, those 3 questions. So you just print off 30 labels and give it to them as they walk through the door, and they stick it in their book and start instead of pen, pencil, write this down, do this. So it's a massive time saver, however you choose to use it.
Amazing, lovely. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming along tonight and your fantastic questions. Are there any other questions from people in the chat? This is your opportunity to ask either Steve or Caroline live to answer or to even demonstrate any other questions from anyone. But you'll be really pleased to see the chat afterwards, because the comments are really lovely. And well, as Laura has just written, thank you for your time. I think this looks amazing. I agree. I was really excited to be promoting the webinar and to encourage people to come along. And I love the fact that you're both full-time teachers and you're just showing something which you know works in your own classrooms, and it's just passing on that information, spreading the word, and encouraging other people to adopt the system as well. That's brilliant.
Can I just say that I did say on my website there's a chat box on there, and I want to be as helpful as I can to anybody that purchases one of these machines. It is my little baby that I've developed, so I want people to get the best use out of it. And as I said before, the only reason that it won't work is because either some of this, you've got the settings wrong, you haven't sized the label correctly in the settings, you haven't allowed the app to talk to your phone through Bluetooth in your settings. It doesn't capitalize because in your settings on the phone you haven't got auto capitalization on. I know that it's a brilliant product. It's a massive time saver. I wish I'd have had it 20 years ago when I started teaching, or even as a newly qualified teacher. It's a massive time saver, and I really believe in this product. And I'm here to answer any questions. If you purchase one and you can't get it to work, please get in touch with me. I'm more than happy to set you on the right direction.
That's brilliant, Steve. Lovely. And a few final words, Caroline, from an MFL perspective on using Teacher Fast Feedback.
Yeah, so for me as well, because so far I've always actually feedback in English, and actually with that I've been starting to actually use it in the target language. And that someone said earlier, I mean, even like as a task, try to work out what I've said. It's been brilliant, and obviously the time saving is it's been fab, absolutely fabulous.
Lovely. And don't forget, everyone, if you go to the Teacher Fast Feedback website and you do order some labels or the printer, you can get a 10% discount. 10% discount using the code JoeDale. So I'd really encourage you to do that as well. So a huge thank you to Steve and to Caroline for giving up your time, for showing us all about Teacher Fast Feedback. It's been really, really interesting, and I'm sure that you're going to get lots of people trying out the software and the printer, and I would encourage everyone to share on Twitter the outcomes and how you're getting on. And as Steve has said, get in contact and ask any questions that you may have. And it's been a really interesting, fantastic webinar. And anything that can reduce teacher marking time is a very, very good thing in my book and lots of other people's books as well. Steve, you look like you're about to say a final word.
I'd also like to say that in the chat, I really would welcome any feedback on my Teacher Fast Feedback, because I just want it the best that it can be. If it's like, can I get this colour label, that colour label? The answer is probably yes. Am I going to stock every colour? No. But if you're a school and you say, I want 500 green rolls, I could probably get you 500 green rolls. So I'm more than open for people to come back to me and say how I could make it better, or on the website, does it need a more instructional version of this, that and the other? I just want to get it spot on.
Lovely. That's perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming along. And thank you again to Steve and to Caroline. I'm going to stop recording right now.